Hi, I'm Geoff and today I'm here to help you get the most out of the Drumr app. We're going to talk about the key features that are going to help you to learn faster and drum better. When you're presented with this first screen, we've got lots of options there. What we want to do to start with is find out what we're actually going to practice. So along the top, I'm going to choose either drum kit or I'm going to choose marching. Today we're going to look at drum kit. The next thing I want to do is I want to choose whether I'm beginner, intermediate or advanced. If you're unsure, just click on all. Today I'm going to look at some advanced grooves with you. I could just go up and down until I find the groove that I'm looking for or the fill I'm looking for, the exercise. But in this case, I'm going to click on the tags. Within the tags, you can see we've got lots and lots of options. I'm just going to simply choose 8th note grooves. And if I go back to the main screen, you can see now I'm presented with all of the advanced 8th note grooves. In here, we're going to look at 8th note advanced inner beat grooves. If I click on that, the score screen comes up. Well, in the score screen, you can see with most of these exercises, going to be 10 or plus individual grooves for you to learn. If I just press play, it starts to play the score, and I can listen through and figure out which ones I want to practice. Now, what's going to be the case for most people is we're going to want to loop this. So if I go to the loop button at the top here, we start in single measure mode. Then what we get the option of then is I can use these sliders to choose 2, 3, 4, however many bars I want to choose, or I can use single measure mode. In this case, with single measure mode, I've got the choice of 10 separate bars. If I go back to the first bar, I'm going to press this button in the top right hand corner, which puts a count in, and I'm going to press play. I get the count in, and it's going to keep looping around with that count in to give me a chance to listen, figure out the groove, read the notation, and practice along. If it's too fast, I simply go down here and slow the tempo down, press or the minus buttons. Now, once I get competent with it, I switch off the counting each time, and I let it just go round again and again and again. I've got the metronome on a quiet setting here in the background, as you can hear. I can switch that off, or we can change the levels of that metronome. Now, for most of us, the next thing we need to do is to learn how to play at faster and faster speeds. So within the metronome at the bottom here, we've got other tempo modes, and I'm going to go and show you that using some of the marching exercises. Now, before I do that, let's say that this was something I wanted to practice again later or tomorrow. One of the things I want to do is favorite it. So I've got a star at the top. I press that. This has now been favorites. So now when I come into the app tomorrow, I can click on my favorites, and there's the exercise for me to start practicing. However, we're going marching today. So if I click on the little marching snare drum, I switch off the tags. In here, what I'm going to do this time, instead of going through the tags to find it or scrolling, I'm going to go to the top here, and I'm just going to type in, let's say we're doing rolls. I type in rolls, and I come out, and I've got chicken and a roll exercise. Well, the marching stuff, when I press play, you'll hear, is a high tension marching snare drum, or like the marching drummer's going to use. And instead of it being individual bars, it's going to be a whole exercise. So I listen through, it's going to get to the end, there's going to be a release note, it'll count back in, I'll put the metronome on. There's the release, 2, 3, 4, and I get counted back in, 2, 3, 4, and we play the exercise. Now, we're looking though at changing this tempo mode. So we go in here, I put it into increasing tempo mode. Now I want to see how much I can get above 100. So I'm going to go from 100, I'm going to take this slider here and put it to say 219. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to say, right, every repetition of the whole score, in this case, 1 repetition of the whole score, I want it to increase by, let's say, 10 beats per minute. So once it gets through the whole of that score, at the end, if I join in, I'm trying my best to lock in with those diddles to work on interpretation. It's hard while I'm talking though. So at the end, I get the count in. Now this time, instead of being 100, 1, 2, I get a bit faster. Now I can press these buttons down here, the little outwards triangles, to skip through a few and say I want to go fast. So those, for me, are the key features to get you started using the app. There's lots of other things for you to go and find, but if you start using those, get into the app, start to learn some beats, get comfortable with it, and before you know it, you'll be flying. If you've got any questions or issues, then leave them in the comments below. If you want to keep up with all the latest goings of the Drumr app. Make sure you follow us on YouTube and also go and follow us on our Facebook group. Have fun.